From the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, this is NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying from the Phoenix Raceway. Final race of the season, and it is the championship race alongside Hall of Famer Dale Jarrett and Jeff Burton. I'm Dave Burns. So glad you could join us this afternoon. Dylan Welch will help us out on pit road as 39 cars will go for 38 spots for this afternoon's racing event. They will eventually, Noah, they will take one lap each. The fastest time will win the pole, and Noah and his fellow Championship 4 contenders will be the last 4 to go out this afternoon. Should be a good show. Dylan Bassett will get us started. DJ, you live out here now. It's a cruel, crisp day here at the Phoenix Raceway. Expecting in terms of their qualifying laps here?
Yeah, I think probably those championship contenders having to go last are glad it is a cool day, because normally it would just continue to really be heating up quite a bit. I don't think they're going to have to worry about that. They would normally like to go first if they had their choice, probably. But yeah, this is unusual. It's actually fall. Don't see that a lot out here.
Dylan Bassett showing us the way around Phoenix Raceway. The dog leg is often cut off during the race to gain a position or two. During qualifying, Jeff, absolutely mandatory, or will some not cut it off quite so hard?
I think some will be very aggressive in how they cut it off. Some will almost hit that inside wall. And others will be a little more conservative with it. Some are afraid it's going to damage their car a little bit, but there's only a few that seem to be too concerned about that.
Unique characteristic for sure at this speedway, which will crown the champion. It is among 4. They have earned their way here, and you know them well. Junior Motorsports drivers Justin Allgaier, Josh Berry, and Noah Gragson, and Ty Gibbs from Joe Gibbs Racing. Those 4 squaring off along with 34 others, which is again unique to the NASCAR Championship races. This will be the 13 of Dawson Cram on track now in his Mustang, and see just how hard, about the same amount of aggression there on the dogleg cut.
The second start of this year. Place to come. At least he got a decent amount of practice yesterday.
Well, his other start was at Darlington. So I guess he's just looking at the most challenging places to hone his skills.
Picks the tough ones. You mentioned qualifying today, at practice yesterday, and there is Cram's time. That will go a little bit slower than Dylan Bassett. They had 50 minutes yesterday afternoon. DJ, important for these drivers to at least get a feel for the place and know where their cars might be for this qualifying session.
Yeah, because it is such, we talk about the difficulty. It's such a unique racetrack, especially with the reconfiguration. I actually had, a couple of weeks ago, I had opportunity to drive one of the NASCAR Experience cars here and give some rides. And I had not driven this, and it's just so completely different to your eyesight and how you drive and what you can do. And Jeff, I know you have a lot of laps around here, but you can speak to the actual at speed and what you have to do as a driver adjusting to this.
Yeah, it's so crazy with that front straightaway with that reconfiguration. Running down off the banking and getting onto that apron, it's violent. It is a major change in banking angle, and it really is violent. The other thing is it makes the approach into turn 1 completely wrong, because it's hard to get back out to the wall to get your angle set up. So it has certainly changed this racetrack.
They didn't let me do that in the NASCAR Experience car. So
thankfully they did. Listen, I know you already know this, but you asked for forgiveness, not permission.
Excellent point. Let's ask for permission to go down to Dylan Welch. Dylan, you're with one of the guys who's been a storyline the past week, actually all year.
Yeah, he has, Dave, and that's Brandon Jones. So let's start with this weekend. Got a full 50 minutes of practice yesterday. How'd you feel?
Yeah, man, I didn't really know what to think about having as much practice as we did yesterday, and I honestly thought our Polonis Menard Supra was really fast. We obviously went out there and put a pretty good number up. Didn't quite like how much fall-off we had. There was maybe a tenth or so left that we needed to be the absolute best car here, but we're really close, man, and I know today's going to be a lot different. This track undergoes a lot of changes throughout the day, and I know that we've got a different situation here with how they sprayed the PJ1 this time, a little bit higher in 3 and 4, and then obviously nothing in 1 and 2. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how the day goes, and if that ever comes into play I always think that, man, it's going to at some point. You got a little bit hotter temperatures than you did in that truck race, so there's a possibility for sure. But, you know, I think there's one thing. We're going to start today by trying to get the pole, and then if we can do that, we're going to try to do the next thing, and it's win the race.
We're 1 week removed, obviously, from the activities of last week. Everybody wants to know, you know, how you're feeling about it, and frankly, how you will race the 54 today. Have you given that any thought?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've moved on many days ago from all this. You know, there was 2 days of thinking on it, reading everyone's texts, everyone's messages. It's overwhelming, the amount of support and the amount of people that stood behind us on the event. But we'll take all of that, man, and go win the race. I think that's going to be, honestly, the biggest implications that I can give the 54 is to go try to win the race and try to beat them, and that's what we're going to try to do today. And I feel like we have the car that's capable of doing so.
That'd certainly be the best statement they can make. And in his final run with Joe Gibbs Racing, Brandon Jones going to go after another Phoenix win.
And while we were listening to Brandon, we were actually watching Sam Mayer and Ty go at it from April. So Ty has more than one driver who may have a little issue with him this season.
For sure. Yes, as he's gathered all of these wins, he might have made a few, if you'll call them enemies, along the way. But you know, it'll be interesting to see, does that come into play this afternoon in any way, shape, or form? I don't know that I'm looking for somebody to take Ty Gibbs out. They understand he's racing for a championship, but you can also make life miserable here this afternoon if you choose to do so. Now, he's got a very fast car, so you're going to have to be really good and find yourself in that position. But, you know, that young man, hey, aside from what happened last week, Ty Gibbs is a talented young driver, but, you know, the choices you make on some days, some afternoons can change the way that people view you. And I think gathering an amount of respect in this garage area against your fellow competitors affects you in more ways than sometimes you actually realize.
Matt Mills on track. He had a spin yesterday in practice. Seems to have things corrected a bit here now, but no one so far has been able to touch Dylan Bassett's time.
Yeah, Matt had some pretty good contact yesterday with the wall. See this car? Watch the left front tire. Well, the left front, look how high that splitter is out there. Yeah, so a little bit of roll in that car. Probably is not what they're looking for.
By the way, last week we were referring to Brandon Jones and the final laps at Martinsville. This is the final restart, and I believe one of you may have opined it didn't take a whole lot of skill to do that, and that's one of the things that upset so many people.
Well, when you watch this, you have to go back and put all this in reference. That 19 car that's spinning in front of the 54 car, they're teammates. And Brandon Jones, if he wins that race, he is at this racetrack today with a chance to win the championship, and that would have put 2 Joe Gibbs Toyotas in the field. Instead, there's only 1, and instead of 2 Junior Motorsports Chevys, there's 3. And yeah, that was part of everybody's little bit of confusion, and then the celebration after was pretty clear that at the moment Ty felt like he had done a perfectly normal and acceptable thing. He recognized later that it wasn't, but that was to add to the controversy.
Yeah, and you only have to go fast forward 24 hours. And actually, you could go back and watch the 3 restarts before that, where they each exchanged a bump in the center of the corner. They just moved the other up out of the way, and they were able to sneak below that and either get side by side or complete a pass there. And then you fast forward 24 hours to what Christopher Bell did when he caught Chase Briscoe. A little bump in the center of turns 1 and 2, drove under him, took the lead, and went on to win. That's the way you do things when you're racing. And you can choose to do them how you like, but that was not the proper way. And we've all said this all week. You know, that's not racing, that was wrecking. You know, that's you just don't do it in that sense, in that position, in my opinion.
Lessons learned, we shall see. It was Martinsville had it at its best and worst last week. This week at Phoenix, championship weekend, and Stephen Parsons back in his favorite old number 45 this week, and he's in the green.
Well, Stephen has shown people the last couple months that he knows how to drive a race car. We've seen him have the most success he's had in his career. He and this car have done a really, really good job.
This is Alpha Prime Racing. He didn't race it all year, put together a full season of starts, but some of the equipment that he raced in was not as good as this race car.
And I tell you, that shows you the lap that Dylan Bassett had. Well, we weren't real sure, but Dylan Bassett picked up about a second from what he ran yesterday. Not that that's going to be pole winning speed, I don't think, but still a very solid qualifying effort for that family-owned team.
Well, and they don't race every race, and they missed a few on qualifying, so kudos to them for a great lap from Dylan. Bailey Curry on track now in the Hy-Vee Chevy.
Oh, way up the racetrack. Not the entrance to turn 3 he was looking for. That's going to hurt his speed coming to get the start-finish line. I say that, and he's faster than Dylan Bassett.
For now, can it stay in the green? It's going, oh, now it's trending the wrong way.
Well, it's not from a lack of effort, I can tell you that. That car is sideways.
Yeah, if you were able to watch the truck race last night, it showed you just how many lanes you could run here, even down off the racetrack, which I always loved about turns 1 and 2 when it was turn 3 and 4 back then. But just so many options that you have. You can see, turned that into a pretty good lap, but he fought that car really, really hard there.
First 9 in the books. Dylan Bassett quickest so far. Let's head down to pit lane and Dylan.
And we've got one of our Championship 4 contenders today. That's Josh Berry. So you were third here in the spring. How much of what you learned yesterday is similar to how you felt at the end of the day in the spring here?
Yeah, the track's definitely a little bit different without the traction compound being applied as much as the spring. Obviously, it's a little different weather too, but yeah, we had a solid day yesterday. We weren't spectacular by any means, but we finally got a real practice. Got to sit in the hauler with these guys. Our Tire Pros team has done a really good job. We sat down, looked at everything, and put our heads together to make a plan for today. So we know the track's going to be a little bit different, but we made some good adjustments, and I'm excited to see what we can do today.
What is today like for you? You've been in a situation before where you fought for a championship, but to do it at this level with Dale Jr.'s team and the situation you guys are in and how you got here, how special is today for you?
Yeah, it's a super special day, right? And it's just been so much fun the last couple weeks to experience all this, get to enjoy it, get to reflect on not only this year, but the last decade really of racing with Dale and everybody at JRM. Just really thankful to have this opportunity. Really thankful for the journey that got me here to this moment, and we feel great. We really do. I mean, we just think this is a great opportunity for us tonight. We know that we always race better than we practice. We're a second half of the race team. We've been like that all year. We fought and got better throughout the race and been there when it counted. So we think that there's no reason why we can't win this thing tonight.
And why not them for sure? Josh Berry going to go after his first Xfinity championship later this afternoon.
Josh and the rest of the Xfinity drivers will be participating in this afternoon's Xfinity Series Championship race at 6 Eastern this afternoon. Of course, countdown to green right before that to set you with all the storylines at 5:30. And don't forget, this afternoon, why not? Cup Series qualifying at 3:30 following us. And then Dale Jr. Download with Steve Letarte. That's today's schedule on the USA Network. Make sure you tune in for that. We're glad that you could join us for Xfinity Series qualifying on the app. And we just got done talking about Josh Berry with Dylan Welch down there. Josh hit my radar a few years back when at Richmond he was in like a one-off ride in the Xfinity Series, and it was sort of a reward for all the work he was doing at Junior Motorsports in the late model car. And I think he ran top 10. It was super impressive, and he's just gained momentum since then.
Yeah, I think he comes in, and I think sometimes people think that, yeah, he's a great short track racer, but he's shown us so much more skills than that in winning at mile-and-a-half tracks, running very well at every type of track that you have to be good at if you're going to race for a championship here in the Xfinity Series. So fun to watch him just become more rounded as a driver throughout the opportunities that he's had now, and he's going to be back again next year, maybe as the defending champion.
Whether he wins this championship or not, he will be a favorite going into next year for sure.
That's right. Hometown boy J.J. Yaley in the 66 this weekend. He rolls at 7th for now. Again, 39 cars, 38 spots. One driver will be disappointed heading back east today.
Well, it might be more disappointed, but there will be one that's more disappointed than the others because they didn't even get to compete. But we could have quite a few disappointed.
That's very true. That's so true, Dale.
And it's so heartbreaking. You and I have both been in that situation where you miss a race and you put the same effort in as the guys that won the race, and you go home and it is a sickening feeling. So I don't wish that on anybody.
No, it is. As a competitor, there's just nothing worse.
Kyle Sieg in the fluorescent yellow numbered 38, younger brother of Ryan.
I got to talk a little bit back in Las Vegas to Kyle. The whole Sieg family. We were staying at the same hotel out in Vegas, and so I saw him around the hotel quite a few. And I had not had much time other than to say hello and talk a little bit in the garage area. But great personality here. Couldn't be more different than his brother, I think, in my opinion. But still in their own ways. Really good race drivers, and he's just looking for more chances, more opportunities. His dad was telling me how he really doesn't. He's run the same engine pretty much all year. That's kind of what his deal has been. So he's done an outstanding job.
Top 10 at Daytona in the summer race. So in that experience, learning how to run up front is, for a young man like that, it's just so valuable.
Well, and exactly what Kyle Weatherman has been doing for Jesse Iwuji Racing, the 34, right?
Yeah.
He had been on the circuit. He had been gaining starts and gaining laps, but hadn't really been anything that he could make a little quicker, make a little better. Boy, he jumped in this car. He's been impressive this weekend,
well,
this year.
Yeah, look at this lap right here. And this is what he's using this car. I mean, he's showing people with this car that he can make lap time, that he can go fast. And look how sideways that car is.
You can drive it like that for a little while.
Wow.
You could see that cost him a lot of time.
And at that point, you don't give up, but you kind of give up because your lap is done, and you're going to start in the back anyway after that big slide through 1 and 2. So at that point, you're almost better off just to not hurt your tires if you need to put these tires on later in the race. So yeah, just kind of big slide and then just give up a little bit. You hate quitting, but you don't have much choice.
Yeah, that's right. Dylan Welch, you got another Champ 4 contender down there?
We do. It's Justin Allgaier. I feel like every time we come to Phoenix, everybody always is looking at the 7 car as one of the cars they're going to have to beat. So do you feel that way after what you guys learned last night?
Absolutely. Really, first of all, just hats off to everybody at Junior Motorsports and all the men and women that work on these race cars. To get 3 of the Final 4 is really special. And the Hendrick Engine Shop, obviously all of our partners, Chevrolet, there is nothing more than I want to get our brand professional coach come around to victory lane and obviously go for a championship. But one of the cool things is yesterday practice, the race car did all the things I could ask for it to do. And that's a comforting feeling. I know the track's going to be different today than what it was yesterday. We had the truck race last night, but I have experience on my side. We've been in this thing 5 times and been close. Probably had the best car a couple of those, and then things just didn't work out the way that we needed them to. And so today, not only are we going to have to be fast, but when it comes down to the end of the race, I think we're going to have to be in the right position. And I got the team and the cars to do that. I'm just excited, man. I'm on house money today. I took the white last week and I wasn't in. So, to be in, to have an opportunity to go for it, we're going to give it all we got and go have a lot of fun.
What have the discussions been like this week with the fact that you do have 3 teammates or 2 other teammates in this battle with you? How do you race them? How do you guys go through the process of sharing notes and everything that you would do on a normal weekend that's different this weekend?
Well, that's the one beauty about our team. It's really not been any different. Our team has done a great job of really being integrated amongst all of ourselves. There's a lot of camaraderie between all the drivers. Listen, I want to beat those guys for sure, but on the other hand, we want Junior Motorsports to do 1, 2, 3. And we want to bring back a championship for everybody that is a part of our race team. And they've given us the tools, they've given us the resources. Now we just got to go achieve our goals.
They've got a good shot at it getting the championship today, and Justin's going to go after his first one this afternoon.
Interesting comment there, playing with house money, feeling like he wasn't expecting even to be here. This is a place where he comes, and think about this for a minute. He has more starts, more wins, more top 5s, more top 10s, more laps led than all the other 3 drivers combined. So a place where you would think that he would love coming here, right? And I do think he's playing off a little bit how big this moment can be. Multiple conversations this week. If we win, it'll be good. If not, we still had a good year. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a minute. Winning a championship is a career-changing thing. I never had a chance to do it. You did, but it's a void in my life. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's a void in my life never to have that championship. So, yeah, they play it off a little bit, I think, as a way to get rid of some stress, but they all definitely want to win it in a big way.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, it's life-changing. I don't care what series and where you're competing. If you can win a championship, you always have that, and it means a lot to them. I understand trying to deflect that a little bit. It tries to help you put that out there that, hey, you know, I can handle this pressure. But the pressure is immense. You know, these 4 this week have done nothing but think about this opportunity that is right here in front of them. And especially someone like Justin, who we keep talking year after year that, you know, he's got the most experience. If he can get here to Phoenix and be a part of the championship 4, then, you know, this is his best opportunity to do it. But he's going to have more years, but you want to get it done.
Talking about Justin Allgaier on the NBC Sports app during Xfinity Series qualifying for the championship race later on today from Phoenix Raceway. Dave Burns, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, Dylan Welch with you here. Glad you could join us on a beautiful day. It's not going to get much over 70, 75 degrees today. Great day for the fans. Great day for the competitors.
Jeff, it's just my eyes or every one of these cars loose. I maybe have to drive it completely like that.
Wow, that was really loose entering 3. Yeah, that's where, you know, that's where Bassett, who's fastest right now, no one has been able to run with him on the exit of 2. Watch this, entering 3. Watch the back end come around. He is all but wrecked right there. Gosh, great job.
Chris Wright saves it. He will be 11th out of the 16 cars that have run.
And he's in a very tight battle. 6 drivers. Separated by only 31 points for the top 20 in owner points, and that's a big deal. There's a major money difference being 20th and 21st. That's going to be interesting to watch today. This car right here, So2 car, he is also in one of those cars in that battle.
Parker Retzlaff, he is in the green. Can he keep it there, trending in the right direction?
And this is where everybody's giving it up. Parker got up the racetrack a little bit. See, it's just continuing to lose speed. I think he can make it back up in 1 and 3 and 4. Let's see if he's able to make it happen. Oh, loose again.
Jeff, if I were watching this as a driver and those that are going later on, I'd have to consider dropping the left front, maybe both left side tires, off going into turn 1 and 2. And carry and just try to carry that speed. It looks like they're sliding up, and then as you add wheel there, the back end's just going to kick out. You like to have a plan before you start, but sometimes I did watch. Not saying it always worked, but they would just give me an idea that something has to be done there.
See if Landon Castle, the veteran, starter of 208 Xfinity Series races, can put some of that to work there, but he was a little bit loose out of 4.
Coming to get the green right here.
Yeah, not the place you wanted to give that up, and you can see it's already hurt his speed bump.
Wow, way up the racetrack.
He not driving it in there, did he?
Yeah, look what happened. Look what happened though. He intentionally ran up the racetrack. I'm gonna give him the.
That'll be Landon's story, and he'll stick to it. He's in the green. He's going to go to the top. Landon Castle, quickest in qualifying.
Good job.
Yeah, almost like he just said, you know what, I'm going to ship it down in here and see what happens, and did it in both ends of the corner. Never really got to the yellow line.
Now, that was well done.
Yeah, and he's had to kind of adjust. Been interesting to watch him because, you know, you talk about all the starts, but a lot of it wasn't in equipment to where he could run up front. He's been in a different group this year, and watching him adjust to that and figure out how to race the end of these races as he's up inside definitely the top 10 and top 5 a lot of the time. So I think things will be better for him as he moves forward.
You know, it's interesting you said that. There are a lot of drivers, you know, believe, hey, you just give me a good equipment and I can run with those guys, and they can. But they have to learn how to do it, right? And once you get in a good equipment is a major advantage, but then you have to change the way you race.
Yes.
Like you have to learn how to race in the front, Dylan.
Absolutely do. And we've caught up with Ty Gibbs, who, of course, is going for his first Xfinity championship as well. So a lot of excitement last week. We're on to Phoenix. It's a new week. But how are you handling everything that's going on with not only the pressure of this weekend, but everything else you've gone through this weekend?
Yeah, for sure. You know, first of all, I think the biggest thing is I'm the one that put myself in that position, and I'm the one that's kind of caused all of this attention that didn't need to be, you know, had. So, you know, that's all my fault. And, you know, I once again apologize to, you know, my team, and you know, we're moving forward. You know, I feel like we've got a really fast race car this year. I feel like our long run speed was really good, so I'm excited about that. And all I can do today is just go out there and do the best I can, do my job. You know, I'm gonna race a different way now, and you know, that's being, you know, earning respect back.
Is that something that you've thought of and made a conscious decision to do today? Is race, in your opinion, in a more respectful way?
100%. I think, I feel like I want to be, of course I want to be the best driver, and I want to do the best I can. And so, if that's, from leaving a great legacy and being a championship driver, that's what I want to do. And, and I can't be out here, making mistakes like that. And I got to fix my path and, clean my act up. And, hopefully all of these kids that are coming up can learn from my mistakes.
Thank you, Ty. Good luck today. Jeff and Dale, you guys know this as well as anybody. It's all about learning, especially when you're a young guy coming up through the ranks. And no matter if you're a winner or not, the respect thing goes a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, gaining that respect in there. And hey, I appreciate what I've heard from him this week. That doesn't take away the fact it was a huge mistake last week that he made there. He could have just as easily won that race doing it the proper way because he's that talented, his car was that good. And he's going to be around this sport for a long, long time. But you don't want that moniker chasing you and staying with you that you're just a dirty driver and you're going to do whatever it takes, because that's not the way to get it done. He's too talented for that, and he's going to be around a long time.
What a horrible race to have to come into with that last week.
Yeah.
Because every one of these drivers is going to have to be forced to make a decision. Should I do this that I'm thinking about doing? We've seen it in every championship race, and what a horrible race to have that on your shoulders, trying to do things the right way. Is he willing to do things that others would be willing to do today because of what happened last week? It's going to be an interesting situation if he gets himself there, because he almost can't win. If he goes and he gets real aggressive and moves somebody out of the way and they wreck, well, everybody's going to hate him. If he doesn't do it, everybody's going to hate him, right? There's almost no way to win for Ty other than getting out front and driving away from everybody. That would be the perfect scenario for him this week.
Yeah, that's a great perspective, John. I hadn't really thought about it in that way, but you're exactly right. Because he could have used, maybe not to that extent, but if it would have happened this week, I think we all would have understood it a lot more this week than the way that it happened with his teammate last week.
Racing's great.
Yes, it is.
This is Ryan Sieg, and he is on track for his family team and in the green. Younger brother Kyle went out earlier, and announcement this week that was kind of rumored and now is official that Kevin Cowboy Starland, the crew chief, is going to be coming off the road, which he's been on for what seems like about 30 years, and doing something a little different next year with the team. But congrats to Cowboy. And
trying to come back.
Yep, very close for Ryan here.
Well, again, you could see how much that car was moving around, and how hard he was driving it. And again, I go back to that lap that Bassett put down, that Dylan Bassett put down. I mean, a family-owned team, don't run the full season, and there he is, just a tenth of a second off of Landon Castle, driving for a very good race team. Ryan Sieg, a team that runs every single week. So Dylan Bassett sitting there in third. Just, again, what a good job by he and that team.
Yeah, and Ryan Sieg and that family-owned team, too. That's what this series was built on. When this first started in 1982, it were small teams and racers that did it everything themselves, and that's how they still go about it. They battle each and every week. They know that they're outmoneyed along the way, but they still battle at it, and they have great weekends.
There you go. See Brown right there, he took your advice. He went down to the bottom, put those left side tires underneath that yellow line on entry into one.
Probably did the same thing they would have done for me, slowed it down.
That wasn't my experience.
All of my ideas that were all that great.
My experience with your qualifying prowess was different than your view of it. I started behind you a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, I started behind a lot of people. So.
Well,
but you grew.
Mine wasn't what I could do on the track. I had good motor.
Dylan Welch.
We've got Noah Gregson, our last championship Ford competitor today. So you're at the very back of the second to last in this qualifying order. So what have you seen from the racetrack so far this morning, and how did you feel about your car last night?
Well, I thought we had a pretty good Bass Pro Shop from Arrow yesterday in practice. A little loose on exit, but we're ready to go. We're fired up. My buddy Zane Smith, he won the truck championship last night, so that was super cool for him. I'm super proud of him. And we just got to go try our best today. The result is going to be what it's going to be. We're prepared, we're focused, but we're going to try and have as much fun as possible. These opportunities don't come all the time, so a little tired right now, but once race time, I'll be all fired up.
For qualifying today, it's always important. This is a short race. It's a quick race. So what is the importance of getting a good lap here?
I think it's big to start, within the top 4. Definitely on the front row, just seeing how your car is. And we have a good track record here. We won the race earlier this year here, but with the resin, the traction compound not being applied down at 1-2, I think it's going to be a little bit different. So going back to 2018, 2017, seeing how those races kind of play out, that's more so how the track is, I feel like, this weekend. So I don't know. We're excited. Just last one with Junior Motorsports, kind of bittersweet. Just definitely thankful for all the guys at Junior Motorsports, Black Rapid Coffee, True Timber, and definitely Bass Pro Shops, Johnny Morris, JP, everybody who helps get our Bass Pro Shop Camaro to the racetrack. It's truly a blessing and extremely grateful.
Of course, going to Cup next year with Petty GMS Racing, and be no better way to end his Xfinity Series career with a championship today.
Yeah, Dylan, 4th year with that group. Hard to believe it's been that long, as we see Anthony Alfredo. And before Alfredo, an adventure for Rajah Caruth. Hang on, Rajah. Nicely done.
Yeah, I thought that the car earlier we saw loose into the corner was loose. Well, that was worse. Good save by Rajah there.
I'm just amazed that they don't spin out. Yeah, I would have been around on that one.
Tire tracks laid on the Phoenix Raceway, as he did it for his part. Caruth will be 21st, and moving back from there as cars like Myatt Snyder come out and try to get the top spot.
There you go. Myatt right on that yellow line.
It's going to be a long race if all these cars are going to be this loose this afternoon.
Well, are they all setting up for how the track is going to change? Is it going to tighten up automatically? Is that the history here?
They hope.
Exactly.
Although hope's not the greatest strategy. Look at Myatt. He's hustling that car, and he just does not have the car to lean on. He just does not have the rear grip he's wanting.
Right down there by Rajah.
Real snappy on throttle.
Yep, snappy on throttle.
We can agree. We can confirm.
Yes.
Here's the visual.
Yeah, this is one of those things you see. You just want to power up as soon as you can there, and you drive straight towards that wall, but you're trying not to give yourself any extra room for the back end kicking out like that. So, just fortunate that there was no damage done there. But trying to drive these things loose, get the speed that you can kind of overstep that a little bit.
Jeb Burton on track for Our Motorsports.
Jeb not coming back to this. Jeb, I don't know if there's any insight in the family side of this as to what Jeb may be doing.
I know Jeb wants to be in this sport. He works really hard at it, puts a ton of effort in it, loves the sport. Definitely wants to be back. I know no plans have been announced yet, but hopefully he'll have something soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. He's fun to watch and a good talent, and like to see him back in a car to compete up front. Always fun to watch him race and be a part of the mix.
Yeah, remember that he ran a truck those few years. He was sitting on poles, won a race, was really on a roll, and then they had some sponsorship issues and things just from there. He just hasn't been able to get back in a situation that was really suited for him. He really showed everybody he could do it in those years in the truck, but just hasn't been able to get back there.
And sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot to divulge anything that might be.
My family, your family are very much alike. We learn not to tell everything.
Well, listen.
Keeps us out of trouble.
I read what Jeb said when he announced that he wasn't coming back, and he said he'd have some more stuff to announce soon in the positive direction. So I can tell you that just from being the public eye in this, DJ.
Yeah, and my question was more, does Jeb want to continue? And that's the way that I should have put it. I think that I thought that he did, but you would know more of that from that side of it.
Yeah, he's heavily committed to this sport for sure, as this guy is right here, Jeremy Clemens. And we talked about the Xfinity program and how important it is for guys like Jeremy. Jeremy showed he could do it as well, and he's one of those guys that you'd love to see be able to get in just A-rated equipment, right?
Yeah.
You would love to see what he could do in that type of car.
Listen, 2 words for Jeremy Clemens this year: Daytona winner.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes forever, right?
It does. Yep. Can't take that away from you.
I bet this guy right here, you know, you want to get back about what happened last week. Go sit on this pole. By the way, he's got a lot of poles this year, 5 of them. He's won at this racetrack before. Go win this race. You know, go win this race and show everybody, yep, I was in position last week, and I'm going to take this win. I'm going to take it from you. It's a great opportunity for Brandon. And look at that car. See, it's drifting to the racetrack.
Yeah.
See, you don't see it flopping around, moving around. Whoa, used all the racetrack.
But that was just carrying that much speed out of there. Yeah, I mean, that's a hard corner to exit anyway when your car is good.
Bringing it back off of turn 4 to the stripe, and yes, Brandon Jones will take the top spot. He displaces Castle with a 26.98. Kenneth Holt.
So I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he had to lift there or not. I know I would have lifted, but these young guys, they tend to stay in the throttle. But wonder how much that hurt his speed right there. Can somebody else carry that speed into the corner and through the center and make the exit speed? Or do you have to check up a little bit on entry and through the middle, accelerate a little bit later so that you can carry that momentum down the back straightaway?
Yeah, and I appreciate it as we watched Sammy Smith come out here, but I appreciate the way Brandon Jones handled the situation last week. It was a huge disappointment. I mean, couldn't have been a bigger disappointment, but he handled it with a lot of class.
Sammy Smith extremely aggressive in using that apron.
Fast yesterday.
He got a little bit loose on corner entry.
Smith was fastest in practice at this track yesterday afternoon. Racing the truck race last night, I believe. Won the ARCA race.
Really good
Look at that. Man, he carried a lot of speed right through the center there. Good lap.
It's going to be fun to watch this young man as he navigates his way through NASCAR. Shows a lot of speed. Look how aggressive he is.
Gosh.
Bet the side skirt's up there, Jeff.
Well, as long as they've been out. There you go. That's how you want them.
Yeah.
It's just making it drive better later in the race. A little aerodynamic advantage.
Yeah, he definitely made this a short track, because I know we can't call anything a short track unless it's under a mile. So there's no way that was a mile long right there.
Dale Jr.'s not up here with us. We're okay.
Nick Sanchez in the green briefly.
This 48 car, which was announced last week, that our comrade Parker Kligerman will be racing in the full series, racing for a championship.
Parker very excited about that. We're excited for him.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. And Nick Sanchez, it was announced this week, latter part of this week, that he was going to be running full-time truck series next year. So good for him having that opportunity. He's done a nice job in this car too.
Yeah, he has a really good lap there.
And their goal, of course, is to get to the Cup Series, who celebrate their championship tomorrow here at Phoenix Raceway. We remember who those 4 contenders are, and how could we forget? Joey Logano going for his 2nd championship. Christopher Bell, 2 walk-off victories to make it to the championship 4. Chase Elliott, fan favorite and 2020 champion. And the other guy, what did he do last week, DJ? Ross Chastain.
It made a pretty good final lap there. Maybe the fastest that a stock car has ever been around.
Will ever be.
With that incredible, I don't even know how you come up with what he did.
It was really, really fun. There have been lots of opinions, a couple different directions on what Ross did, but it got him into the championship 4, and that is what we're going to be watching tomorrow. Here's last week and what Ross did. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, Ross Chastain going down the back straightaway, shifts into 5th gear, never lifts off the throttle, going 60 mile an hour faster than the rest of the field to the center of the corner. And that move, look at him. I mean, that's real. That really happened like that. And, you know, talking to Ross the other day about that, he said everything got blurry. He was going so fast and it was so crazy what was in the car, G-forces, all the things, that things got blurry. And he just stayed in the gas. And the other thing, DJ, he said he started thinking about the crossover gate. And what if I hit that? And he actually took his hands off the wheel for just a second. He's talking about this, and I'm just sitting there doing, what is wrong with you? You know, like, what makes a man think like that? And it was a crazy conversation with him walking us through that. And then we said, well, can other people do it? And he kind of snickered. He's like, well, they can, but they don't know what they're going to be dealing with. And it was one of the sports. I mean, you'll always remember that.
Yeah.
You'll always remember that and how big it was, and just so out of the box thinking.
Yeah, I think there are a couple of things that struck me that, of course, they had not been in fifth gear all day, but to have the mindset that I've got to get the most out of this, I have to be in fifth gear. I don't want to be up against the chip because that's going to slow it down. And then the fact that you took that and that opportunity at that place to where the difference in the speed was the most dramatic there that you're going to see anywhere else that you might go. We've seen drivers, Larson trying it at Darlington. Well, even if he would have made that work, because Denny Hamlin was still running 130 or 40 miles an hour, you couldn't go twice as fast as that car and it look as dramatic. It would have been huge, but nothing like what that was, because that just didn't look real.
And for the same reason, could not work here at Phoenix. I know fans want to know, could they do it this weekend?
It could. I don't think, Jeff, you pointed this out, and I noticed it a couple of weeks ago when I was driving a car around here, how the wall changes as you go down the back straightaway and enter turn 3. There's a difference. It actually goes out, and you can explain more, Jeff, because you have more laps here than me.
Well, it is the question, will it be tried?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we could talk about the challenges of doing it here, and I do think it's much harder to do it here. Will someone have the nerve to try it? Or do people look at it? You can see, right underneath that Toyota sign, but you can sort of see it. The wall actually turns, go down the back straightaway, the wall actually turns out. And so the reason it worked last week is because he was able to get the car on the wall in the back straightaway and then just continue on the wall. There was no transition there. You're going to have to turn your car to the right to follow that. If not, when you get to the wall in the corner, you're going to hit the wall. You're not going to ride the wall. There's completely different ways, differences there. So I do think it'll be more challenging here to do it in 3 and 4. Now, I think 1 and 2, you could do it much easier, but how much damage has you done to your car in 1 and 2, and you still got to navigate your way around.
Daniel Hemrick goes 6th. He is the reigning champion who came into Phoenix last year, won his first race ever in the Xfinity Series, and took home a championship to boot. He will not be in the championship for this afternoon. Neither will Austin Hill, who has been quick through the playoffs. He was the only rookie in the Xfinity Series playoffs and did a solid job. They've been strong, just didn't make it when it counted.
This driver had to he had to learn how to drive an Xfinity car, ran several years of trucks. Took him a while, but once he got going, he became a very, very tough competitor. He's going to run some cup races next year, back at RCR for a full campaign in the Xfinity Series. So, I think going into next year, this team also becomes one of those that we are going to consider a contender for the championship.
Have to. It's Richard Childress Racing. They build them fast, they build them well, and they've got a good young rookie in Austin Hill. He'll go 8th here in qualifying. Race later this afternoon. Cup cars will be on track for qualifying between now and then. And of course, all of the pageantry and fanfare setting up the final race of the season for the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the opportunity to crown a new champion. There will be a new champion later this afternoon. Sam Mayer had eyes on the championship. He's the one junior motorsports car not in the championship 4. But he's been quick, and he could be one of those cars that, maybe upsets the apple cart and takes the win home.
Yeah, sure could. He's done an outstanding job this year, and I really thought last week in Martinsville that he might be one up in the mix. He jumped up into the top 5 a couple of times, and I thought that he might be making a run at that, but just couldn't sustain that. Ended up in the top 10, but very impressive young driver here that is only going to get better with more opportunities. He's going to have that again next year, coming back right here. So it'll be interesting to watch his progression and see if he can be here next year racing for a championship.
Top 10 spot for Sam Mayer. 6 to go, 4 of them, the championship 4. And Sammy Smith looks on. Will the lap hold? 26.85. Is it good enough for pole?
That's going to be a tough lap to beat. Sammy was the fastest in practice. Brandon Jones was second fastest in practice, and both of those guys have already gone. So it's going to be a challenge to beat that lap.
Riley Herbst would like to think it can be done.
We talk a lot about young race car drivers and needing lap time and experience, and I think Riley Herbst is a great example of that. You saw a little bit of debris come out of that car as he came back onto the racetrack, but this has been Riley's best year by far. I can't wait to see him, assuming he's back at this team next year, and cannot wait to see what he can do with another year under his belt. I just feel like he's gotten better and better and better. In another year, I think we will see the very best of Riley Herbst.
Crosses the line, 14th. He's not going to be happy with that. Let's see if we can see what came out of or off of the 98. Oof. That looked like a piece that used to be on the 98.
I wonder if the side skirts have a little piece of aluminum behind them to make them so they don't bend, so that they are more rigid. You wonder if that came off of that.
That was a hop and a skip.
Well, they're still out there.
Somebody else is going to want to use that territory, aren't they, DJ?
Well, I think they come close. Of course, there's a lot of different ways of getting back on the track there, so it might be up out of the way.
I think Sheldon Creed went to the left of it.
No doubt.
You see Sheldon, how far he went using that apron. He was never able to get back to the wall entering turn 2. And I wonder, you know, I know it's quicker and shorter to go that route, but is it quicker through the corner?
Yeah.
Because you've got to get back out to that wall to best set yourself up for 1 and 2.
It's a good lap. That'll be 6th. See, he's still bottoming out just a little bit even on the cool down lap. It's rough down there. And that leaves us with 4, the championship 4 now getting ready to take to the track. It'll go Berry, Allgaier, Gregson, and Gibbs.
I feel like, DJ, this is a really important lap for Josh Berry. And here's why I say that. I thought they were the slowest in practice yesterday. They needed more. They needed to find some speed. Josh Berry said it in our interview. They get better as the race goes on. But you don't want to have to make up too much ground. This team, I think, will be their best at the end of the race. But the difference between starting top 10 and starting 16th, 17th, 18th is a big difference. So of all the championship drivers, with the pace that they had yesterday, I think this is the most pressure-filled of them all right here, because they did not have the pace. And you cannot have the slower car and give up track position.
Yeah, good point. I was going to bring up that. Yeah, so you've said right there, huge amount of pressure. I was going to say, I think there's a huge amount of pressure on each of these drivers for this lap here, because you're in a situation where you want to go get the most that you can. And speaking of Josh Berry, when you didn't have the pace yesterday, you're trying to make up that, but you don't want to make that mistake. Just a slight mistake. We see how loose these cars are, how little grip there is, just getting into the wall, having to make an adjustment that sends you to the back, or worse yet, that you make a huge mistake and you have to go to a backup car in this situation, which is not what you want to do, but you want to be starting inside the top 10 too.
All day long, you'll be able to pick the Xfinity Championship 4 out, the Xfinity purple splitter and window banner and spoiler on them, if you don't have your favorite picked out already.
I feel like Josh came to the green really well. Yep, pretty close to Sammy Smith. Just not the speed on corner entry or through the early part of the middle.
Yeah,
made some of it up on exit.
Yeah, really good on the exit there.
To the line. Where will this, for the moment, put Josh Berry? 7th.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I think Josh Berry starting, you know, in the top 10 is plenty good enough for that team.
Absolutely. Yeah, job well done.
And now the veteran from Illinois, Justin Allgaier. Will this be the year? Can he finally secure the NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship? This lap may have a lot to do with it.
It's pretty funny. Our teammate Dale Jr. is next to us in the booth watching qualifying. He's got a lot of nervous energy over there watching his team, and it's great for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's not on the broadcast today, but, you know, be an owner, enjoy this work that they've done to get all these cars in this position.
Yeah,
Ride with Allgaier.
Yeah, even though he's got 75% of the field as far as the championship for him, still nerve-wracking afternoon for him.
So right here, Josh Berry is having a better lap than what Allgaier had. This is not the lap this team was looking for. I think that they had really good pace yesterday on longer runs. I didn't think they had short run pace. Ninth.
Okay. Remember, Allgaier told Dylan Welch the car was doing everything that he wanted it to do. Does he know something for those longer runs?
So he was after practice yesterday. He was really happy with his car. Yeah. I really love my car. I was concerned because I didn't see that raw pace. I saw them with long run speed. But my buddy Steve Letarte, he always says every long run is a short run, and you've got to be able to have good takeoff speed. So little concern right now with the Junior Motorsports cars having fire-off speed if you get a late race caution.
Third and last of the Junior Motorsports cars. Coming to the green, Noah Gragson.
Getting ready to see what kind of speed they might have and what the possibilities are right here. I the gas a long time there waiting.
Good exit. Seemed like he entered high and then left the corner low. A little different line than we've seen other guys make.
Yeah, got back to it a little better there, so making up some time. It's going to be pretty good here.
Yeah, good lap.
Good lap for Gragson. That'll be third. So non-playoff drivers Sammy Smith and Nick Sanchez currently hold down the front row. Ty Gibbs with the only driver left to have something to say about it. And he's one of the championship 4 contenders.
I think listening to this young man, after everything that's taken place all week and everything, he's determined every time he gets behind the wheel of a car, but I think his focus and his determination is to go just say, I'm going to drive away with this and show that I can do this without anything like what happened last week.
And this is a pretty typical Ty Gibbs line. When you watch him race, he's very tidy with his line, meaning you don't see him up the racetrack much. He's going to put that thing right on the yellow line. Following DJ's advice, cross that yellow line. He's going to leave on the bottom. That's what we see Ty Gibbs do every single week. A really good lap. If he can get through 3 and 4, he's got a shot.
Third quick in practice. Can Ty Gibbs put this Toyota on the pole for the most important race in his life so far? Look, he's in the green. Ty Gibbs is going to do it. He'll be on pole for this afternoon's championship race.
That's impressive right there. Really good lap.
And to your point, all the talk, all the chatter, all the conversation about this, what happened last week.
Good job, Chris.
And this guy at 20 years old puts all that behind him, says, okay, I'm here to drive this race car, goes and lays the lap time down. Great job by Ty.
Said, good job, Chris. That was to Chris Gale, his crew chief. There he is on the right. Engineers, everyone doing their job. And it's about preparation, isn't it, Jeff? You got to come to the track ready to go. They showed that yesterday, and then the driver has to lay it down.
And they've heard that chatter too, right? The team has heard that chatter too. And Chris Gale has been a major part of Ty Gibbs and his development. And yeah, what a great start. Hey, it's not over. There's a lot of work that this guy and that team got to do, but this is the way to start it out.
Yeah, we always talk about who's going to fire the first shot when you come into a situation like this, and there it was right there by Ty Gibbs.
When I caught up with Chris yesterday, he kind of gave me a smile when I walked up to him. He said, well, nothing like taking an already stressful week and pouring gasoline on the fire, but Ty Gibbs has erased some of that here with the drive that he just put in to qualify on the pole. Dylan, he looks pretty calm climbing out of there.
I think that's what we've seen from him really kind of all weekend, is calm and collected and shows up and does the job he needs to do to give himself the best shot at this championship. So, did you get everything out of it on that lap?
Yeah, I really feel like we've got a very fast Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra, and I'm very excited of the race. Hopefully we can put on a great show. Thank you to Toyota, to Norman Interstate Batteries, to Mitch Covington, David Gallons, everybody back at Monster Energy, and Dr. Elko that's helped with me too. So thank you to those guys, and we'll move on. Thank you to Sport Clips and Xfinity, and thank you to the fans. I know I don't have probably a lot of them, but I'm trying to earn them back. So thank you. We'll hammer down tonight, and I feel like we've got great JGR cars.
What kind of statement is this? Just about the speed, and we talked about everything you've gone through this week to be able to put that behind you and go out here and lay down a lap. How confident are you feeling now about the rest of today?
I mean, I feel like, you know, I don't really know what statement there is. I just come out here and drive. I really enjoy racing, and my love from racing overcomes all of the, you know, pains and sufferings, you know, that what comes with it when I mess up like I did this week. So, I mean, I'm just focused on making laps. I really love this track. This is one of the tracks where I feel like I can just run laps over and over. And so we're just aiming to have a great day. And, you know, we don't have to win the championship, but definitely got to win the championship. It would be great for my team and my whole organization.
They're off to a great start. Ty Gibbs will lead us to green this afternoon at Phoenix.
Dylan, thanks. And boy, that statement, trying to earn the fans back. Dale Jarrett, he'll have a chance to do it from the pole.
Yeah, he sure does. Just a great run there. But you can see they're all starting up in the top 11 here. It is going to be a battle. And I expect these four to be in the top 4 and top 5 pretty much all afternoon battling this out.
I agree with that. And I think, you know, you have to watch mistakes. Young race car drivers, and even some that aren't so young, but this is still a pressure-filled day. A lot of times we see this championship come down to someone not doing everything they need to do and make a mistake at the wrong time. It's going to be so much fun. I think Ty Gibbs has the fastest race car, but in later runs, that 7 car was extremely good yesterday. Ty did everything right to start with, but this is a long way from being done.
And you will have to tune in later today, 5:30 p.m., maybe from dangling on a crane. I don't know about that. But that'll be when we have Countdown to Green, followed by the championship race at 6 o'clock. Of course, right now, Cup Series qualifying coming up over on USA. And then the Dale Jr. Download with Steve Letarte will follow at 5 Eastern Time. Beautiful views, beautiful vistas here at Phoenix Raceway. Championship race this afternoon for the Xfinity Series. And the 4 drivers who are in it, oh, they're in it. The worst qualifier, 11th, that'll be Allgaier. And then Berry, Gregson, and Gibbs on pole this afternoon. But they've got 34 other drivers they'll be racing around. So glad you could join us. For Dylan Welch, Dale Jarrett, Jeff Burton, and our entire NBC Sports crew. Thanks.